no one else there. It's down to you. What are you going to do? It's not something that many of us get the chance to find out. But it happened to me a couple of years ago that I was in a situation like that, and I got to find out what I would do. What I found out, actually, was that I have no idea how I would have acted in that situation. It shocked me. Now, before I recount the story to you, let me just warn you, it's slightly alarming, but don't worry, because I'm here to tell the tale, so you know it kind of has a happy ending in the end. My story starts when I was out for an early morning run. I don't do it very often. I can't really haul my old carcass out of bed before work very often to go for a run. But on this occasion, I was out, maybe about 5 minutes from my house I've been running along through a housing estate, just in my own little world, and I heard, "Ah!" And I stopped, and I listened for a little while, and I thought, did I just hear that? Am I going mad? I'll add it to the list of other mental complications I have going on. Didn't hear anything, so I carried on running, and then I heard, "Ah!" Unmistakable. I stopped dead, like this. It was a woman screaming, obviously in some distress. Now this was 6:30 in the morning, pitch black, really cold, there was steam billowing from my mouth, and I'm standing there thinking, what do I do? Now there's quite sensible things I could have done. I could have gone to a nearby house, knocked on the door and said, "I think there's someone in some trouble, can you come and see what's going on?" I could have stealthily just walked up to where I thought the noise was coming from. I was on a road by a railway siding, and there were more houses on the other side of the railway. You had to cross a little bridge, and the scream had come from the other side of the railway siding. So I could have just, gone up and tried to look at what was going on in the situation. I didn't do either of those things. For some reason, I think it was maybe because I had the adrenaline in my system and I was kind of pumped up anyway. For some reason, I started charging towards where I thought this scream was coming from. I was really going hell for them. I was going like this. So I was pumping my arms, and I wasn't just running towards the noise, I was shouting. I was shouting, saying, "It's okay, I'm coming!" in my little weedy lady's voice. "Hold on, I'm coming!" And pumping, sort of arms pumping like this. And for some reason, being put in that situation, it kind of turned me into a cross between the Bionic Woman and Leslie Garrett. I just kept on running, kept on shouting, went to the other side of the railway siding, got to where the houses were, looked down the back gardens, and there were those, those high fences, those like panel fences. It was exactly like the scene in Shaun of the Dead, where you have to jump about 7 fences. And I stood there for a minute, and I thought, you've got to be kidding me. But then I heard, "Ah!" I was like, "It's all right, I'm coming, hold on!" What I thought I was going to do, I have no idea. But I jumped over the first fence, scraping my legs, swearing profusely, ran through the garden. I trod on something that I think was probably a soft toy. Could have been a gerbil, I'm not entirely sure. But reached the second fence, scrambled over the second fence, and the woman was shouting back by this point. She was like, "Ah!" And I was like, "It's okay, hold on!" I couldn't see anything by this point. And I was thinking, well, what is going on? I can hear this screaming. It's definitely down there somewhere. So I just continued this mad gamble of jumping over fences, running through gardens. Oh, God knows what I looked like. My hair was everywhere. And all this time shouting, "It's okay, hold on!" So I've been running and jumping, and I was all scraping and sweating. And after about 4 gardens, I was getting really confused because I could still hear the screaming, but I just couldn't see what was happening to this poor woman. When I got to the next fence, I stopped for a minute. And when I looked over the fence, what I actually saw at the back of the garden, standing on a small shed, was a fox. It was a fox that had been cornered by a cat. The cat was going, "Shh!" And the fox was going, "Ah, help me, help me!" Does anyone else know that foxes can do a noise that sounds incredibly like a woman being attacked? And I was obviously quite relieved when I saw, there was nothing really bad going on. I thought, gosh, I hope I haven't caused too much damage to those back gardens. And for a minute, when the adrenaline was sort of seeping out of my body, I was glad. I was so proud of myself. You know, I was in that situation. I became a superhero. So when I was trying to answer the question of what happens when you're put in this life and death situation, I turned into Super Jude. And when I told my friends about this afterwards, they were like, "You dumb idiot. Do you really think that was a sensible thing to do? You think someone's being attacked, so you charge that. Have you seen the size of yourself?" So no, it wasn't very sensible. I do appreciate that. But it's nice to know I have it in me. And it's also nice to know that when you hear screaming, don't assume it's anything too bad. It could be a fox. And, well, maybe you guys have all got an inner hero too, but I hope you never get to find out. Thank you.